There's so many games that we love to play where we can be anybody and anything we want. But what if there were games that were built around the concept of working in retail stores to gain the end goal of minimum wage by each level? Or restaurants or any type of business that works your character to the bone in the comfort of your own home? Well, that brings me to my obscure video game topic of today. The world of time management games and why are they so addicting?
Kyrie, where you at?
I want to talk about everything, I want to do everything, and I want to be everything. What do you love? 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 You got to hear what you want to dream. You got to hear what you want to dream. You got to hear what you want to dream. You got to hear what you want to dream. What do you love? What do you love? In real life, after graduating high school or during, we come to the realization that we have to get a job because we want to buy things for ourselves in our youth. Or we come to a realization that we need to now support our own families by helping with bills when we least expect it. We go on Google to find a job with no degree required that is as low as 13 an hour to 15 just for us to get by, and not because we want to, but at a young age we already knew about retail jobs and low-paying jobs before our parents sat us down and told us we need to make our own money. On many websites that were run by Flash in the 2000s, there were well-known games that were highly advertised that were based on time management. Out of the giant selection of these games, there was a highly recognized one called Diner Dash. You could find the face of this girl everywhere. I remember first playing her types of games on a Flash website called Big Fish. Now, I didn't have any money to play the full version of this game because when I downloaded to play Diner Dash from Big Fish, they gave you a free trial and then asked if you wanted to pay to play the rest of the game from what I recall. It was such a frustrating feature in the 2000s because that's of course how they ran their business, making money from these games. And I'm sure any child like me at the time wanted to work at Diner Dash like Flo and wait tables for rainbow looking customers non-stop. Firstly, I want to discuss what these time management games were about, so we should start with the most iconic game that started it all for me. From Diner Dash's Wikipedia, this is the main story behind it. Flo is a hard worker at a big stock market company in Dinertown. She's tired of doing all the work and feeling unfulfilled. Flo quits her job, wishing she could work someplace else. She spots a run-down old diner, which she buys. She has to make enough money to fix up the diner. Later, after earning more finance, she opens a new restaurant called Flo's Tiki Palace. After earning enough there, she then opens a seaside diner called Go with the Flo Fine Seafood Dining. When finished at the seaside diner, she opens a dazzling new restaurant called Chez Flo's. After establishing many restaurants, an Indian goddess grants Flo a brand new form and allows her to work at an Indian restaurant located above Dinertown. After proving her worth, Flo went out in her own separate way and is ready to help another hard worker at the company establish his own diner, repeating the cycle. From my experience, I've played so many Diner Dash games under so many names and under so many websites that I don't want to just make this video entirely about the timeline of Diner Dash games. So I'm pretty much going to summarize these in small chunks of this essay, so you will get to know different concepts of the time management video game world. The gameplay of Diner Dash. The gameplay involves seating customers and guiding Flo around the restaurant to serve customers. If enough money is earned after each level, the player progresses to the next. As the game progresses, Flo updates the dilapidated restaurant she begins with and builds 3 further restaurants, which provide new settings.
The release date of the first Diner Dash game was on December 3rd, 2003, which makes a lot of sense based on the point-and-click functions of a game built like this. It's a simple way of a young child to get hooked because of its standardized, simple, bright colors and simple and easy goals of making customers happy. And also Flo getting those tips once the tables are cleared. For someone like myself who played any type of games and experimented with different Flash game websites every week, this concept was right down my alley because I enjoyed a certain type of competitiveness Diner Dash held. We weren't going to gain anything significant, but because it was such a daily routine, I couldn't help but get hooked and stay tuned for other restaurants Flo needed to work in and build from nothing. But now, as I'm writing this essay, building from nothing all the way up to something newly achieved is the point of what we wanted to gain at the end of these levels. Time management games made us feel like we were building something from nothing, so we wanted to continue to see what else we could give these customers through our constant clicking efforts to see how much bigger the restaurant would become, as well as seeing how far our own work could lead us to a different part of the world. Such a simple concept made me come back wanting more, so it led me to keep playing her retail ventures from restaurants all the way to a hotel, from PC all the way till the franchise branched out to mobile. It's like the simpler things in life were a pleasure to engage in, so time management was perfect for a sense of control in those overwhelming environments. Now, I'm going to move on to a different type of time management game that is very similar to the game controls that Diner Dash had you play with. Time management boutique mall retail store games. Now, I really love shopping. I would go to the mall just to window shop even if I'm not carrying money on a certain day. I even go on my phone before bed to make endless amounts of wish lists for clothes I'm probably never going to get around to buying. I just find it so entertaining. The thought of wanting and buying things really fills up this empty spot. I myself have even worked in many retail stores that just sell clothes, so I've been through the stress of standing up for countless hours and making sure customers are happy, even if it's not my own best day. There was a variety of different retail management games. One of them that I was interested in for some reason was the game called Fashion Fits. I don't understand why I was interested in this game while scrolling through Big Fish all those years ago, but I would click random games all the time no matter the look of the thumbnail. Something a child really shouldn't be doing on an unsupervised internet. This game was harmless though, like most time management games were, and had this very normal Americanized simplicity. I re-downloaded the Big Fish game launcher, and as I was hoping my old computer wouldn't give out on me because it was so old that I could barely play games on it anymore without experiencing a horrendous lag. Struggles I'm going through to talk about this. Remember when I said Big Fish charges you to play the full version of their games? Yeah, I need to save my coins, so I just decided to play the free trial, which is only going to spare me 60 minutes of the gameplay. That should be enough to get a summary of this game, I hope. The game begins with you, the player, typing in your name. The second screen that pops up is the game selection options, where it gives you the options to play game, high scores, tips and tricks, credits, and or to quit. We're going to play the game, of course. Going into the game, you must read a short comic that shows someone sitting in an interview with the main character, Miss Fitzgerald, someone who we play as in Fashion Fits, who is now at a higher position in the company during this present time. It seems she moved her way up. Miss Fitzgerald wants to tell you about her journey working as an employee many years ago, which is a smart transition into starting the actual gameplay. In the flashback, Miss Fitz, I'm just gonna call her Fitz, is on her way to her first day at Ubermarkt. A pop-up appears to who it looks like probably either the owner of this shop or manager, but by the looks of his swag, he probably owns the place. He calls her Francie and is our trainer. He's going to be the main person who shows us how to play the game. I'll just call him Swagman because I never get his name. The walkthrough for this tutorial is like your usual first day at any retail job. You have to make sure the tables are restocked and everything is ready to go for the customers once the doors are open for the day. We do this by clicking the mannequins first and then clicking the table. Throughout this game, they have a feature where you click things in order for what you want your character to attend to first. You aren't allowed to cancel your clicks because it automatically takes your character there even if the task isn't needed anymore. You'll still end up doing it anyway. This is a common feature in the majority of time management games that I really find convenient because at least I don't have to constantly click different tasks to keep up with the duties. This happens in Diner Dash and many other games I'm going to talk about next. After your tutorial is finished, you are greeted by a giant version of Fitz that shows us our goal for our first day. This continues to happen through the entire game. The gameplay is pretty much what I explained before, it's just clicking in number order and following the customers around. There's only 4 places in the store that you have to keep up with: the register, table restock, dressing room, and customer service. Now, if you do everything fast enough, or you don't even have to be fast on your first day because the first day for these games are always on easy mode, you have to just be clever on what customers to tend to. If you aren't, then the customers will just get angry and leave the store. After your goal is reached, you're shown how much you've earned for the day, and the game begins to change as you keep working day to day. Our swag man tells us that we can use the store budget to fund the store, which is a feature I couldn't wait to use when I was younger playing this game. It's like a silly little treat after each level. What sucks about this though is of course you have to stay on budget and buy whatever you can afford at the current time. This is the moment where you figure out what is the most important add-on to the store that'll help you get through the next level. I chose the second fitting room because dealing with a long line on both the register and those rooms can become chaotic. After the first day, we are introduced to new characters, but only because we bought new clothes to add into our store. The clothes are like a personality and what to expect from the new customers. Like for example, when we add emo shirts, we get emo customers. It's like a Hot Topic and Marshalls all in one now. Then once we add more turtlenecks, we get cheerleaders. The list of customers goes on, but since we were playing the free trial, this is all we got to see. Before I move on to the next game, what stands out about this time management retail game is that we got a mini game asking us to set up the mannequins for our display. We have to memorize which clothes to put on after getting a quick look at what's needed to choose. Looking onto the map, there's other stores that our character soon travels to work in, but like I said before, we only get to experience just a small portion of this game since I chose the free trial, but that pretty much sums up what Fashion Fitz is all about. As a child, this game was a lot more engaging for me, but as an adult, it really didn't stick as much as Diner Dash still does. I think Diner Dash will probably be the only timeless and fun time management game that aged well. Fashion Fitz kind of felt very empty, and maybe if I paid $7, the game's environment maybe would have expanded, but the gameplay still would have stayed the same. I felt the main character lacked personality when it comes to her design. She just simply has a purple turtleneck and jeans and looks like your average Catherine you'd see in Walmart during 2005. That's very specific, but I'm sure if you go back to 2005, you'd run into Fitz. Moving on, there's more retail games that I'm just going to quickly go through without spending too much time on the retail topic because there's tons of other genres of time management games I want to introduce you all to. Sally's Spa. Sally's Spa is a game series that is luckily still up from my childhood. I didn't favor this game much back then, and I didn't really play it much, but I don't remember why. I do recall being interested and hooked by the art style whenever I passed by the ads for this game. It was very Fugger-Arrow, especially since it came from the 2000s. It was very fitting and had the comforting beach vibes. Sally's Spa was released on June 4th, 2008. Released to many devices for Android, Microsoft Windows, and iOS, which I can only access it on then and now. The developer for this game was Games Cafe. Once again, every time I go and get a time management game, they offer either to play the game for free or to buy the full version. Now, I'm sure there's going to be less features while playing the free version, but once again, I'm sure we will get enough out of this free experience. Well, I certainly will, that is. Entering the game, I'm already in love, once again, with how pretty the art style is. It's so squishy, like the sound effects for when you click anything. And isn't that fitting for a spa-themed game? It really makes you feel like you're on a resort, for real for real. Going in, we are introduced by a short comic. Obviously, Sally must be freaking rich because not only is she on a getaway herself, just relaxing for vacation, she asks her friend to buy this business on this island just for the hell of it. I didn't know she got it like that. We start off on our first day working at the spa by ourselves. Sally pretty much knows the spa business, so we don't even have someone to tell her how to work there. To treat her customers, we were given a few options. There's the sauna station, esthetician chair, and the massage table. Whilst in the esthetician chair, we must scan through different masks until the customer has the happiest mood, so they are completely satisfied with our decision making. The more we keep the customers happy, the more hearts we get and the bigger our tips become during each level. For our repeating customers, we get busy moms who come to relieve the stress of taking care of their families. Also, what's different about this feature from other games is that it shows you what type of tipper and the level of patience the customer will have before we play. That helps with how urgent we have to be around the customers. There is this very helpful feature that I like about this game series, that you can get helpers in your spa so you won't have to keep running around to do each task yourself, but those helpers don't come till certain levels are unlocked. Just like any other game as well, you're allowed to buy add-ons to upgrade your store, or once you finish a level, you get to earn a patience candle that you may burn out if you have a crowded workday, so the customers won't storm out. This game offers a lot of helpful features that I wish were in all time management games. Like there's items in Sally's spa along with the patience candle and the magazine on the table that you get to buy, which you can give to any customer so they may wait for their turns. This game gives you many options on how to get things done. But what is tricky on this game is like level 3 to 4 it gets faster and makes you run to the customers because of their short temper that doesn't take long to build up after one level already. Other games would give you time until levels further down to get this hectic, but Sally's Spa makes you work early. One more small feature that I find detailed about this game is that Sally's friend Nell sells her lotions inside the spa, which gives the store more sales along with the service we are already performing. It was a little neat detail, and I always enjoy small stuff added in like that because it adds realism and character to the retail game experience. Now, moving on to my next topic, obscure time management games. All the games I've shown you from my childhood are pretty tame and normal as video games can get for this specific genre, but I thought going towards the end of this video it would be a cool idea to find obscure time management games that are so odd and hard to find that even I never heard of them before making this video. As I searched far and wide through Big Fish and other corners of the internet, I found 2 obscure time management games that piqued my interest and may pique yours. I embarked on a quirky adventure at the cat wash, navigating through challenges and amusing mishaps while trying to wash cats. With most of the other games I've shown in this video, clicking to get each task done wasn't really a big issue as much as it was for Cat Wash. I wouldn't really say that has any faults on how dated the game is either. I would say it could just have to do with how the game was designed and how sensitive clicking is throughout the gameplay. It has this constant theme of the disco era and takes place in the 70s from the looks of it, and also from the way the characters speak to each other. They use words like groovy and use puns to go into any word to make it more funky, and it just comes out as goofy when saying it out loud. I wouldn't say I really had fun playing the game, but it was something I was curious to experience just based off the title alone. The art style is very dated as well, but I do find the 3D models for the groovy cats adorable. They make up for this wacky gameplay and also can be my downfall at times. While trying to drag the cats in its correct locations, for some reason the creators of this game chose to let the cats have free will and program them to climb anywhere on your screen, from onto your character's face or to the very top where you can only see half of their bodies, as if they're trying to seek life outside of this simulation. It was stressful, and I will give credit to this game that I needed to lock in the moment I chose the difficult level. Cats are attention hungry and feisty in real life, so the game certainly stays realistic with that reality inside of the gameplay. Of course, like all other time management games, they give you the choice to upgrade the shop with the money you've earned working, and those upgrades will then assist you with making your gameplay much easier as the next levels proceed to show you no mercy. I would have played this game longer if the clicking functions were easier to navigate with, but sadly that is the ultimate downfall of this game. And one of the main important features you need to play any and every time management game on the internet, iPad, or computer. But aside from that chaos, I found another genre of time management games that I've always played growing up, and though the gameplays were never as long as the games like Diner Dash Sally Spa or any other downloadable game, they were short and cut straight to the point, as well as very fun. This corner of time management games can be played as games where you must rush before getting caught. It's similar to other games I've played because you still need to rush to finish all your tasks for the day. But these games in particular rush you to the point you need to be clever in timing or it completely starts your entire level over. As I searched through Google for more arcade games, I found a game that I haven't played since I was in elementary school, and I haven't thought about it till I saw the pictures sitting in an unknown arcade website that I just curiously clicked randomly. Kill Time in Your Office. This game starts you off with a cute and simple art style that drew me in when I was younger, which I still found cute like all those years before. The instructions to survive this day in the office read, try to do all the things during office hours, but don't let your boss know. If the boss comes out, just click the computer to resume working. The tasks that we are given pop up in 7 different squares presented to you to complete. First, there's nail polish to paint your main character's toes, rollers to curl her hair, tweezers to pluck the hair off her eyebrows, a crocheting set, a messenger tab to message someone, a sleep option, and a facial mask. She brought her entire spa to work. It doesn't matter which option you choose first, as you can start with any task. I started with the tweezing and found out that this is a task that you really have to focus on, because each strand of hair is hard to click at, so you need to specifically click on all of them before the boss comes over. And if you don't click all of them before she comes, then, well, it starts you all over till you finish, meaning all the hairs you plucked come right back on her face, which is so inconvenient, but what's the fun if there isn't a challenge? For all the other tasks, you deal with the same reset, if not completed once clicked. I was really excited to type during the message task because I wanted to put something stupid, but it didn't let me type even when I tried clicking enter to begin. I even tried to type in exactly what the pop-up had, but they didn't let me do that either. Getting caught causes your boss to scold you and fire you, sending your character home, but you do keep your score. For tasks like crocheting and sleeping, you have to click side to side as fast as you can to complete it, or else you already know what happens. At some point, the timer ends and so does your character's day end, which leaves her with a mischievous smile as she creepily stares at you. This game was a cute little short treat at the end, not so overwhelming, but something similar to this game will leave you overwhelmed. And of course, many have crossed paths with this game. I know you know this one, it's very iconic, if you grew up on Girls Go Games. Romance Academy Heartbeat of Love. I played this game way too much throughout my life. When I first saw this game back then, I thought the art style was amazing. This is like way before I watched anime when I saw this game. I thought the colors were cute and bright, and now that I think about it, the whole aesthetic just reminds me of Ouran High School Host Club. From the color palette down to the fancy intro music. For the tutorial, it reads, you move in the direction of the cursor. When the cursor is further away, you will run. When your cursor is on the head of a boy, you will lock on. If you have a lock on, you must click the left mouse button to fire a love beam. Funny, cause whenever I spoke about the game to someone, I always mentioned that the love beams were lasers shooting out of the girl's eyes. I never knew the actual name for what she was doing till writing this essay. By keeping the button pressed, you can fill the boy's heart. When firing the beam and a rival appears, a showdown will happen. Keep clicking your mouse button to defeat your rival. Love meter. Firing the beam will drain the meter. Restore the meter by obtaining hearts. If the meter gets to 0, it is game over. When the clock is done, the round is over. When hitting a teacher, you will fall to the ground. I've always played this game competitively because it really gives you a motivation to focus and get everyone once you spawn into the game. The main theme of this game makes you feel mischievous and greedy, like you're a witch causing havoc into this school. which whilst writing this, I think the main character we play as is definitely a witch because those love beams are like her sort of power. What I thought back then, and what I still think now, is the schoolboys that she forces under her spell looks to be gone. Like their soul was sucked out of them, or something more sinister. It's like she burnt them alive and their spirit has just risen from the afterlife to be under her command as they float behind her. And honestly, it looks like she put them under a lot of pain, because they're being electrocuted by her love beams, and the silhouette of them in the panic showcases the sudden shock of their unlucky demise. But of course, this can't be seen as a horror game because of how goofy the music is and how cutesy the art style is. But in my own words, from what I've described, it could very well be marketed as such. After going up each level of the school and fighting all the schoolgirls for unlimited attention and soul collecting, she encounters the prettiest boy of the school and the most popular, and the level reaches its peak difficulty when clicking to claim his character. As I clicked with all the strength I put into my index finger, I couldn't get him. But she's still left with a happy and sick ending as she laughs her way through the school with the boy slaving at her will for the rest of eternity. It's kind of dark, but still funny, but still dark. As a kid, you want her to get this ending, but as an adult now and writing about it, I feel bad for those boys and I wish I had just lost the game, but I need to show you all every detail of what happens. We have now reached the closing point of this video, and I feel very refreshed revisiting all these games I grew up playing and finding out that many of them are still easy to access, if you want to experience them as well. You can just simply type in each of these titles of the game and you will be led straight to them with a few clicks. I once again had a lot of fun writing this, and I'm going to admit this essay took a few months to write because I was busy with work and life just gets in the way of what I actually want to do. I hope you all got a blast of nostalgia thrown at you, and if not nostalgia, I hope you learned something new today. There will be new videos coming out about more games I played growing up and games that I never got to experience but would have loved to. So please look out for those, and I'll see you guys in the next one.